So we came to Austria, and here we still are. We have been here over a year now. It's been so intensive and so much has happened during that year that it would really take a long time for me to try to cover everything. But I will try to cover the main points. The first and most essential thing that made the difference in my whole life on this path of enlightenment was September 1 year ago, when my wife Maria had bought me a week retreat, silence retreat week in Miesto, Osho Miesto center in Italy. And what to say about that week? That week was much more valuable than any kind of school I could have ever gone to. The most beneficial week ever in my whole life. I would change all the productive things, works, schools, for this 1 week. What I learned from that is so precious. Just to be in silence completely during this whole week. We did few Vipassana meditations during one day and a couple of active meditations in the morning and in the evening. And we weren't allowed to communicate with each other and not to contact the external world. And the journey inside myself you can't describe it, but it's such an adventure. It would be corny to try to explain all the esoteric happenings that happened that week. There were a bunch. But I think probably the most essentials were not the esoteric happenings, but the pretty small things, but big things. Like how you can start really seeing the existence, the colors, the feeling, the sounds so much more clearly, and how the whole existence just changes. Also, I experienced something during night that I was sleeping consciously. That my body fell asleep, my mind fell asleep, but I was conscious all the time about the surroundings. I could hear, I could feel my swallowing, I could hear the snoring and stuff like that. And it felt like the leader of the meditation group, uh, her directions, and many other things also communicated directly to me. And after the week, I came by train back to Austria, and it was pretty chaotic. Angela Merkel had shut down all the railways in Germany because of the refugee crisis. It was raining like hell, thunder, and people were packing into buses, and it was really chaotic. But it was 2 hours in a train where I was able to just rest and lay down for a while. And I got my first astral projection experience, that I sensed that I'm not in my body anymore, that my body feels somewhere underneath, far away. And it was very remarkable experience. Also, I was able to follow my breath so long times continuously without any thoughts. But when I came home, it felt like my head was cold, and I felt like I'm in my heart. My talking was very slow. And yeah. The effect of that Vipassana week went away slowly. I kept meditating, but because of the interaction, when you are in a relationship, marriage, you have to talk and talk. So it happened that by and by the experience faded and went back to the normal mind game. But it really changed my whole point of view, that meditation is totally everything in my life. So I started with my wife also. We started to meditate very much. And in November last year, Maria went to and started in Osho-Risk, Denmark, a therapy program that lasts for a year and a half. And it's been structured so that it's 1 week per month. About, not every month, but. And it gives an opportunity for me to meditate by myself and also be in silence. And she has her process in Denmark, of course. But during the first week when she was in Denmark, I meditated a lot. And after she came back, we had a big crisis. marriage crisis. Because during the 13 years I've been together with her, I've been unfaithful, and I haven't told the truth. I've been dishonest about them. So I opened this up finally, because my body and my being, I couldn't hold that in anymore. I had to tell. And that started a big roller coaster that has been going on since then. And it really has been a roller coaster. It was also, of course, a big shock at first. A lot of sadness, anger. To such depths that could never be imagined. But also the highest highs, the happiness afterwards, was something that our relationship felt better than ever before for a while. But the ability in that crisis to just be in the moment was so beautiful and so intense. So one thing during this crisis, because there has been a lot of up and downs, one pattern has been that whenever I am more and more true, authentic, honest, not only in words honest, not only because all these years I've thought that if I'm honest to myself, I can stay sane. But it requires also honesty outwards. So this honesty has helped a lot to strip down my personalities and to deepen my meditation, to be in the present moment. There has been an enlightenment experience also after that. During the crisis process, we have been meditating very heavily. We do together and separately active meditations almost every day, you could say. We talk a lot, we share things honestly, going really into the deepest core of ourselves. But on the spring, later on when Maria went again for 1 week in Denmark, I had a really strong experience again. And I started to feel very much synchronicity. Already in November, I had started to see different colors, meaningful colors, orange, red, that had some meaning. Numbers, 111, 888, in register plates and in the clock when I watch, it's 11:11. Wow. Communicating spiders and horses and other kind of creatures. Of course it sounds silly like this, but when it's synchronized with your mind, they become miracles. So in the spring there was this kind of very heavy synchronicity, and during one night I opened my cell phone, and actually it sounds pretty stupid now, but because just as a separate thing. But there was a video from this kind of spiritual YouTube persons, Teal Swan and Ralph Smart, and they were congratulating. And I had really a sense then that this is a breakthrough to me, even before that. But then I saw that video, congratulations, and they were like talking to me, that congratulations and go to your path, and you're gonna face very big resistance. And I felt after that very, very, very present. And I started to make my own YouTube videos. And Maria came back from Denmark, and after a few days we decided that we're gonna separate. And it was of course a big crisis. And I told in the YouTube videos on that time the reason that we're gonna separate and the reason for it, to everybody, to my family, to my friends. And it really felt like I'm saying goodbye to the whole history and world. And I went to Miasto again in Italy for 5 weeks to be there, and in a living in program. It included meditations every day, dynamic meditation you should do 21 days in a row every morning. Other active meditations in the afternoon, Kundalini, and in the evening, white robe meditation. And in the daytime I was in a work meditation in a cleaning group. And that time, of course, but it was very, very deep, very intense for me. Meditating like that every day and being around in Buddha field, around people that meditate, made me really understand what kind of mirrors we are to each other. I felt very good being there, very accepted. Eventually, of course, there were very much up and downs. I was very down in the beginning, but I learned to really be in the present moment, and that 5 weeks was very remarkable. After that, I came back to Austria, and there was a really big crisis after that again. And we went to really deep, but we came very high after that. And it's one thing that I have learned during this process is that the emotions come and go, and you can't really control your own emotions. So even the lowest low, I know that it will go away. And even in the highest high, I know it will go away. And this kind of sensing and monitoring the own feelings and how they arise sometimes, and it's for no reason. It's not the objects, it's not the reasons. The feelings just come and they go. And the mind thinks that there is a reason for them. But so, my final enlightenment experience then, I could actually, tell a lot about the Miasto thing, but I decided not to because there are other people involved. But a lot of really miraculous things. I was able to touch my past life the first time. And I have to put a little bit better. Yeah. Position, because my foot starts to hurt really bad. So my latest and most remarkable enlightenment experience was one time again. Maria was in Denmark and I was home meditating. And I had a really difficult time to meditate. There were a lot of thoughts in my mind. Nothing like really bad, but like thoughts that I have to do something, and it was really hard for me to get into the meditation. And I was thinking that has this everything been for no good, for nothing? That all this meditation and I haven't proceeded anywhere. And I found out that it was the dark valley of meditation that usually takes place before enlightenment. I happened to watch a YouTube video about that, and it just fit perfectly to what I was experiencing. And the answer for that experience was I saw a video from Christian Breeze that just be with the feeling, whatever it is. There's nothing to be done, just keep meditating, being with the thing. So I did. And eventually I started really feeling good. And again, the world looked amazing. I didn't have extra thoughts in my mind. It was just perfect. But after one day, again, the thoughts started to arise in my mind, and it was a very difficult time again. But now I knew that all I have to do is just wait. It wasn't easy, but I knew the drill. And I was meditating Vipassana, and it was very much thunder and lightnings taking place outside. I was meditating inside. And all of a sudden during the meditation, I had a sensation that I have never had before, that I could see the lightning in my closed eyes, just going like that. And it really felt amazing and special. And after that, I had to go out with my dog, and I watched a video from Christine Breeze. And it's hard to, because these are just things, but because the feelings and sensations follow this process. So I was then very much feeling a sense of meditation. I watched a video of Christine Breeze where she talked about, is there life in other planets? She was interviewed by some guy. And she said, yes, of course there are, like many kinds of different forms, whatever you can imagine. And also she told about her abduction experience, that she spent 30 years in some other planet or something. And for some, it just didn't, probably earlier I would have felt that this is just crazy nonsense. But for some reason that resonated in me. And I went out with the dog to the rain. And all of a sudden, at some point, my head started to do this kind of movement. And my eyesight went brighter. And I had just sensation, realization of the world, of existence. That it's just an illusion. Consciousness. That all this thing that I have thought is real. And the idea of me is not true. And it made me first feel a little bit sad. Very sad somehow, because nothing is real. It feels real, but nothing is real. And I'm alone. But also, at the same time, it took all the worry away. All the real worry about matters is away. And afterwards, when the sensation went down, I started to feel again sadness, fear, all kinds of emotions, and thoughts started running. But something essential has changed. And I could say, enlightenment is quite wide concept. I'm not completely enlightened. I think I've read, and I think I'm in a bodhisattva stage where I've realized what the world is. But it still requires lots and lots, maybe years, hopefully not, of meditation before the complete enlightenment. But of course this is just some kind of thinking of mine. But I have the sense that this is what's happening with me. So that was in the beginning of August, 5th of August, when this most remarkable thing happened to me so far. And one thing I could mention before the end is that the awakening of Kundalini energy since last November, it has been very important during this whole process. Shaking of the whole body. And it started by and by during meditations, especially Kundalini meditation by Osho is very good. That you're not doing yourself the shaking, but the body starts to shake by itself. And I have let it do that daily, pretty much. And it's important part of the meditation for me. But yeah, I think these are the most essential parts in the path of enlightenment. I could have told a lot about my childhood, other things, or my youth and my adulthood that may have influenced all the love affairs and things like that, but these are the ones I picked this time. And I hope this story of mine help you in some way. But it's very important and good to remember that the path is individual. You're living your own consciousness, you have your own inputs. It's your own world. I have my world. Your path is probably totally different than mine. But the idea from me was to just demonstrate what kind of path I have had. And it's of course just a story. The most important thing is just to be in the present moment all the time, here and now, and not give too much weight for all these stories that come. Not even about that you are some kind of spirit or that there's life after death or that the life is only consciousness. It's not the belief. It's knowing right now, but there's no value in that. It can change anytime. All of a sudden I can find that I'm just a simulation of something external happening in some planet, and I'm just some kind of simulation. Or it can happen that this old type of feeling and experiencing the existence comes back again. Anything is possible. But I want to help you because I love you. Because you are me. We are the same. We are consciousness. You are a reflection of me. I am the reflection of you. There's no separation between you and me. No separation between you or anything else here. Me and anything else here. The rocks, animals, material, non-material. Everything is the same. That's why I love you. That's why I want to help you. Maybe she loves also, and I love her also, or him. Those are the best. because they all always in a great synchronistic time they come when you have some really serious thing, like I'm trying to close this nonsense video. He comes there and laughs. And that kind of things happen. The other ravens are very spiritual beings and animals. And they like to be here on top of the mountain usually. But yeah, I want to help you to know yourself, because that's the key to everything. Finally, I want to show you this mountain where I've been making this video. It's pretty remarkable, this landscape. There's even some snow on the eternal snow in those mountains. And cross, of course, on top of each peak, almost. So, I hope you enjoyed. I love you. Namaste. I can recognize your Buddhahood. Peace and love. Love yourself and watch.